California is often celebrated for its gold rush, sunny climate, and rapid growth in the 19th century. But between this story lies a dark and largely forgotten history, the California Genocide. Between 1846 and 1873, tens of thousands of Native Americans were killed, displaced, or forced into labor, forever changing the landscape of the state. Today, we'll explore this tragic period in 6 parts. From life before colonization to the genocide itself, the reactions of the government and settlers, and the enduring legacy that still lasts today. California was home to an estimated 150 to 300,000 indigenous people, divided into more than 100 distinct tribes such as the Yuki, Pomo, and Chumash. They had complex societies with their own languages, spiritual practices, and sustainable agriculture and hunting system. Life was community focused, and land was integral to cultural identity and survival, but that all would change in 1848. In 1848, gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill, sparking the California Gold Rush. Tens of thousands of settlers, prospectors, and opportunists flooded the region in the following months and years. This influx of settlers created intense competition for land and natural resources, leading to violent confrontations with the new settlers and the native populations. The California state government actively supported the removal of indigenous peoples. The 1850 Act for the Government and Protection of Indians allowed settlers to enslave Native Americans, provided funds to militias tasked with violent campaigns. This created a system where killing or displacing Native people was legal and most notably profitable. In 1943, a study by demographer Sherborne Cook estimated that there were 4,556 killings of California natives between 1847 and 1865. Contemporary historian Benjamin Madley has documented the numbers of California natives killed between 1846 and 1873, estimated that during this period at least 9,492 to 16,092 California natives were killed by non-Indians, including between 1,680 and 3,741 killed by the United States Army. Most of the deaths took place in what he defined as more than 370 massacres, defined as the intentional killing of 5 or more disarmed combatants or largely unarmed non-combatants, including women, children, and prisoners, whether in the context of a battle or otherwise. Madley also estimates that fewer than 1,400 non-Indians were killed by Indians during this period. More than 1,000 Yuki are estimated to have been killed in the Round Valley settler massacres of 1856 through 1859, and 400 in the Mendocino War. Many others were enslaved, and only 300 survived. The intent of the massacres was to exterminate the Yuki people and gain control of the land they inhabited. Behind these damning statistics are real human experiences. The Yuki people of Northern California, for example, were labeled as pests by settlers. Militias reportedly killed hundreds, leaving only a fraction alive. Survivors recount children being taken, elders murdered, and families displaced into harsh environments. Some European settlers also documented their shock at the extreme violence, though often those accounts justified actions as necessary for progress. These perspectives reveal the moral contradictions of the period, showing both complicity and occasional dissent by the settlers. You may be wondering what the government has to say in all this. Well, the government actively funded and endorsed violence, while the public often supported the extermination of native peoples to gain land and gold. Some settlers opposed the brutality, but their voices were largely ignored. Official reports and newspaper articles revealed that the settlers saw indigenous deaths as a solution to land disputes and resource competition. It wasn't until decades later that the genocide began to be documented and recognized by historians, though public acknowledgement remains limited even till today. The California genocide's impact is still felt to today. Many indigenous communities continue to fight for recognition, land rights, and cultural survival. Languages and traditions nearly lost are being revived by the descendants today. Remembering this history is crucial, not just as a record of atrocity, but to understand the long-term consequences of state-sanctioned violence and to honor the resilience of survivors and their descendants. There is vigorous debate over the scale of American Indian losses after the discovery of gold in California and whether to characterize them as genocide. The application of the term genocide, in particular, has been controversial. According to historian Jeffrey Osler, the debate mostly rests on disagreements regarding the definition of the term. He writes that by strict definition, genocide requires a federal or state government intentional to kill all California Indians, an outcome in which the majority of deaths were from direct killing. While by a less strict definition, it requires only settler intention to destroy a substantial portion of California Indians using a variety of means ranging from dispossession to systematic killing. Under the former definition, Osler argues that genocide does not seem applicable, whereas under the latter definition, genocide seems apt. So this is the telling of the California Genocide. I feel like this is a less understood story in American history, especially when we talk about the gold rush in California in the mid-1800s. We never really speak about the California Genocide and what the settlers did when they interacted with the natives. The government funded and actually encouraged the killing and displacement of the California natives, which I feel like we don't talk about enough. If there's any other videos you'd like to see in the future, please let me know. Any suggestions you may have of different historical stories that I do not know about. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week for the next video.